Hey folks, H2 here, and you're on the F3 channel. Hey, and I really appreciate you joining me here. And this is the channel where we're going to talk about the F3 millionaire mindset. And the F3 millionaire mindset supposes there's 3 areas of your life that you need to manage well in order to become a millionaire. 1 being your finances, number 2 being your fitness, and then the 3rd one is your faith. And so I've posted this on several other videos, but thought I'll start this particular video kind of giving you a reminder of what this is all about, because some of these videos are not necessarily in order over there on my YouTube channel. So again, I'll also invite you to join my or subscribe to the F3 Millionaire Mindset YouTube channel, whereby you will find all of the videos out there where I provide tips on what I think you need to know in order to become a millionaire or even a multi-millionaire. Hey, so what I want to talk about today is fear. And I'm not sure why that came into my mind today. But as I was contemplating, what is fear? I just started to evaluate, well, I can't touch fear. I can't smell fear. I can't taste fear, but I can experience fear. And so based on that little quick evaluation, fear must be a condition of the mind. And so if you have the ability of controlling your mind, you have the ability to control your fear. And so as I further thought about fear, I thought about how fear can do 1 or 2 things. It can paralyze you or it can propel you. And so I'm sure you've met people who are paralyzed by fear, fear of everything. The fear of darkness, fear of people, fear of making the wrong decision or making a bad decision, and they just can't do anything because of fear. And certainly my heart goes out to those people who might be living in fear. But again, that's a condition of the mind that can be rectified. Now, fear can also propel you. For some, the fact that you have fear of something will cause you to take action against that particular thing. For instance, if you are, you have the fear of a dog barking at you and he breaks loose from the fence, you will be propelled to move out smartly to get away from that barking dog. Now, whether the dog is going to bite you or not, we don't know. But the fact that you have fear, it calls you to take action. And so when I think about fear in terms of the business world, I have my own fears. And so we'll talk about that in a little bit here. So fear, I was thinking, where is this fear? Where do we learn fear? If fear is something in the mind, at some point we had to learn this fear. Now, so sometimes this fear is passed on by whatever our parents or whoever raised us, whatever fears that they may had. Chances are we're going to have those same fears. Likewise, if we have friends that have a certain fear, and if they're close friends and we're hanging out with them, chances are we're going to develop that same mindset or have that same fear. So, when you start to evaluate fear, you kind of think, some of the fears, or I think about my own self, some of my fears are, figments of my own imagination. I've concocted this thing in my mind that has turned into fear and thereby has limited me in some things. But I just like to, throw this out there that, fear can be a motivator to action. And that's certainly what I've tried to do in my life, is to take the things that have made me afraid and develop some actions to propel me in a direction to alleviate that fear. And so if you are a believer like myself, you know that the Bible or scripture tells us, or it talks about fear in two different contexts. One, it talks about fear as in fear in the Lord, and that's not being scared of the Lord. They're using fear, the word fear, to talk about respect. And the second context it's used in is the fear that we're familiar with, and that is being scared. So the fact that I am a believer and the scripture tells us that we're not to be fearful, I'm going to have to stand on that as truth and not to be fearful. But what I want to offer up to you is there are at least three things, you shouldn't be fearful, but you should probably be scared about a few things. And I want to offer up three things to you today that you should be scared of. And that is, the first one is scared of poverty. You should be shaking in your boots if it looks like, you could be in poverty. So if you're in poverty, you should be scared to the point of taking action to get out of poverty. If you're not in poverty, you should be scared of poverty such that you will take action to stay out of poverty. The second thing you need to be scared of is sickness. And I don't think enough of us are scared of that particular thing because of the actions we take. How much exercise are you taking in? What are you eating? Reports tells us that 90% of disease and illness are self-inflicted based on the decisions that we make, and some of the foundational things about sickness is really boils down to exercise and diet. So you should be scared of being sick, because you can have all the money in the world, but if you're too sick to enjoy it, it didn't do you any good. Somebody else might enjoy it, but not for you. The last thing you need to be scared of is God's view of you. And certainly that is what I'm scared of, And so as I think about that thing, I think about, what kind of life am I living? Am I following God's commands, and am I helping my fellow man? So it's all great to pursue a higher calling. It's all great to pursue wealth. It's all great to pursue, fantastic health or health at its best. But if you're not helping somebody else, chances are, I'm thinking, to me, that's not what God wants us to do. So those are three things that I'm scared of. And I hope that you are scared of those three things too, because the F3 millionaire mindset will address all three of those things. And that is fitness, finance, and your faith. All right. Hopefully that'll help you. Something certainly to consider. And if you got any comments or you got any disagreements, hit me back up on the comments, and I'll be sure to answer them as soon as I can. All right. Hey, thanks for joining us. You have a great day. H2 signing off.